I wonder if I just start talking about the Wizard Liz, if I just say her name, is there a way that the algorithm is going to push my live stream out? Wizard Liz, Wizard Liz, Wizard Liz. Landon Nicholson. What's his name? Nicholson? I don't even know his full name. Irrelevant. Landon Nicholson. I will do a video for you guys about that, but it's probably going to be voiceover because I just can't. And there's too much stuff to cover. So, I mean, I have certain things that I want to say for sure, but as far as like every single fact and timeline update of the situation, no, I don't think I have the time or the energy to do that. If this was my main full-time gig, then I would have all the time in the world to talk about topics like Wizard Liz and Landon, or I don't know. I have been resisting, you know, like I try to keep a good balance on my channel because I try to not feed too much into the more sensationalist stories. I feel like number one, it's just not good to, I don't like to contribute to certain low vibrational topics for too long. Sometimes if there's really valuable lessons that we can glean from the situation, like I feel with the Wizard Liz situation, I'll pop up and I'll do like one video, right? I'll just drop one really meaty, hefty video on the thing where I just get all of my thoughts out at once and then boom, done. But I feel like it comes to a point though where I don't want to beat a dead horse for too long, and I don't want to continue to like perpetuate the same attention on certain stories that, like, to be honest, I don't feel like people such as Liz and Landon should have as big of an influence and as big of a platform as they do. But the reality is that, you know, she has millions of subscribers, so it's not gonna go away anytime soon, right? Like, even if she gets completely canceled into oblivion, once you get to that level in the millions of subscribers echelon, you never really, your face, your likeness, it's already out there in the zeitgeist. There's already so many people that are invested in the story, or they know of your name. And like, to be clear, we're only talking about people that are invested in internet drama. I promise you, literally nobody in my real life has ever heard of these people in their lives. If I were to start talking about Wizard Liz at any random dinner function or event, people would look at me as if I was growing three heads, because people in real life just do not, like, they're not following this story. This is purely contained to the internet. It's kind of like a weird little, you know, we live in different realities right now at this point in human history. We have like our internet personas and realities, and then on top of that, depending on what platform you are on, that also creates an additional layer of removal. People can have different personalities on different platforms, and then there's like the real life you that has to go into your job and interact with your actual coworkers and your actual family members, and it's like different facets of, you know, to me this is just the new way of living. But yeah, it's kind of fascinating though, because a lot of times, sometimes it intersects, but not really. There's like certain rules, certain institutions that hold all the power in the real world, and then there's the internet, which has its own ecosystem, right? And then anyway, but yeah, the red pill stuff is just so, and I'm talking about red pill only because like Wizard Liz is red pill adjacent. That's the thing. I think that's another reason why I've been very resistant to making more videos on her situation, because the more videos that I see, like I did a little bit of research for my update video that I'm going to do on her and Landon's situation. So now the algorithm is recommending me like other red pill related channels and topics. And I really don't like that. Not only because it's obviously very toxic and dangerous rhetoric, but also because it's literally like just so silly. Again, nobody in my real life, none of the men, especially here in Japan, right? Even in the expat community, none of them are like knee deep in, well, I shouldn't say none, but like none of the ones that I associate with for sure know anything about red pill, and they don't espouse those talking points, you know? So it's literally just like this machine on the internet that people use to gain views and traction. In real life, how many people that have real power are paying attention to that? None. Zero. Do what you got to do to get ahead. You still have a better head on your shoulder than 99% of creators. Unfortunately, society elevates many undeserving people with poor character. Oh, thank you so much, Eli Lilly. That means a lot. A lot of that is just because like I'm a lot older. And so, you know, I've been around the track, okay? And I've been through the whole ego death. I've been through maybe 2 or 3, honestly, like true huge ego deaths at this point. And even like, okay, I'll tell you something. So I was saving this for the Wizard Liz video video, but I don't know, maybe I'll cut it out of the recording of this live stream later, or maybe I'll just repeat it again in my pre-recorded video. What I see happening in her situation is that like she's still really young, right? I think she just turned 27 and she's still deep in like her male-centered female ego. The problem with her is that if she didn't have a child, right, I would leave her alone. I would say, okay, you know what, whatever. She's going to learn in time, just like the rest of us. And she has like plenty of time to figure that out on her own. But now that there's a kid in the mix, she doesn't have the luxury of being given a pass for just her age at this point. Okay, now you're a mother and you are responsible for an entire living, breathing human being who is completely dependent on you physically, mentally, materially speaking, for its literal survival. So when you have a child, that's when all sympathy for you goes out the window. I don't care anymore that you're still young and you're still figuring things out. Now it's on you. If you can't get your own ego under control, if you cannot get over this idea that you need to be the exception or that you should be exempt from certain consequences because you're just that hot, you're just that beautiful, you should be exempt from a man cheating on you. You should be exempt from a man doing you like this, right? Like impregnating you and then turning on you and preventing you from seeing your child, which a lot of that is also her own fault. That she's not taking the responsibility for. Yes, Landon is a piece of shit, but she also did certain things that prevented her from being able to essentially renew her visa, right? Like, first of all, she overstayed her visa. So that's a violation of American law, right? No matter which way you cut it, you are not exempt from, if she wanted to continue this grift of, oh, I'm just like the most beautiful, the hottest woman in the planet, and I manifest everything, you could even continue that grift as it pertains to men for as long as you want on the internet, right? Because it's not hard to fake that, especially to impressionable female followers that are just looking for like a figurehead to imprint or impose their own fantasies onto, but you can't cosplay that in the face of actual like family law or international law as it relates to, stipulations about what rights a parent has when they're a non-American citizen. You can't girl boss your way, you can't gaslight your way out of stipulations of the law, right? So when it gets to that level, yeah, you're in trouble if you can't get over your ego. You're in trouble if you can't get over this idea that you have to be the exception, because no matter whether or not you get with the program, the judicial system of the US will show you where you really stand. Right. And the more that she doesn't accept it, the more that, I don't know. I can't say because I'm not in her head. I'm not a psychic. I can't say how it's going to play out. But we've seen from previous cases what happens when people are just like in denial of certain things. We see it all the time with extreme cases of, and I'm not equating this to Liz's case, but, cases where people are found guilty for the unaliving of another person and they're sentenced to life in prison. And we see there's proof. Let's just say it's a case where they have been proven without a shadow of a doubt that they are guilty. They're the ones responsible for unaliving the victim. Sometimes you see that they're in complete denial, right? But it doesn't matter like how much they protest, how much they refuse to, acquiesce or admit their wrongdoing. It doesn't matter how much they want to live in their own delusion that I'm innocent, I should be free. You're still getting locked up regardless, right? Like they're going to make you do your time. They're going to make you abide by the laws, whether you like it or not. And a lot of times what happens is that again, if you didn't have a kid in the mix, it's like, at least, okay, then that would just be your own cross to bear. And fine. If you wanted to just ignore the reality that you're being sent to prison for however many years, I'm sure there's a lot of criminals that actually enter that headspace, like they kind of just live in denial even though they're like locked up and whatever. Like Anna Delvey, for example, is a fascinating case. Anna Delvey popped up on my For You page the other day on TikTok, and that's another sign to me. That was another thing that kind of made me roll my eyes and go, oh my God, what am I doing over here? Trying to be so righteous and, trying to do the right thing and promote the right positive types of topics on my channel. When people like Anna Delvey are still given a platform, she still is able to have an influencer career. Gwyneth Paltrow literally used Anna Delvey in her new Gwyneth Paltrow is also a grifter, but like she's by all measures more legitimate in terms of she came from Hollywood, right? So Gwyneth Paltrow literally used Anna Delvey in one of her ads for her Goop campaign or something. I don't remember. I don't know. I didn't see the actual ad, but Anna Delvey was a literal criminal. Like she lied and extorted people for money, right? Like she owes people actual cold hard cash, and she doesn't have to learn her lesson apparently, because TikTok, social media is still going to prop her up. It seems like she got like a huge physical makeover as well. Maybe she got on Ozempic, I don't know, but she's a lot skinnier than she was before. She seems to have gotten a lot of plastic surgery. I mean, good for her. You know, I'm not saying that like I don't have emotional stock into this, whatever. I'm just kind of observing things from the sidelines like, oh, okay, wow. So you can win even if you completely lie about your origins and lie your way into certain rooms or defraud people for their money and don't pay them back and get arrested. And I don't know how long Anna Delvey was in prison, but even if you get sent to prison, if you just live in denial long enough, I guess, as long as you have social media clout, there's always going to be an audience waiting for you once you get out of prison. So I guess that's great for her, you know? But the thing is, Anna Delvey didn't bring an innocent kid into the mix. So you can even say that in her case, okay, well, we can just look at it as a social experiment that society just likes to elevate certain people to the top, even if they have like horrible morals and values, even if they've demonstrated over the years that they are untrustworthy, as long as they're entertaining, right? They do provide some sort of value, as you can tell clearly from her engagement rate on social media. All right, fine, I accept that. But it's a bit different, you know, when you bring an innocent child into the mix. That's when the criteria changes quite a bit. The rules change quite a bit. And, you know, you're not going to outrun the consequences of the law, which has already been made clear by the fact that Liz was not able to get her visa renewed. And I suspect, I don't know the exact details of the case. There's like too many things to go through. It's another reason why I didn't want to make this video, because again, I don't feel like this is necessarily a good use of my time or my subscribers' time. But I have a feeling that Liz being arrested for domestic violence has to do with the court's decision to not extend her visa. That, and also the fact that she overstayed her visa. So I think even without the abuse incident, which did happen, there's an official report of it. The fact that she overstayed her visa, you can't exception your way out of that because you think you're too beautiful to have to face consequences. That would be like me overstaying my work visa in Japan and just like expecting them to, if they decide to deport me because I overstayed my visa, even if it was like a clerical mistake or a technical mistake, like let's say I was still working, but I just forgot to do the paperwork. Yeah, no, that's not going to fly. Like that defense, that argument is not going to fly in the face of Japanese authorities and Japanese law. And I can't be over here like, oh, but you have to let me in. You should let me in because like I'm so beautiful and I have so many followers. Like, no, they're going to look at you and chuckle and laugh and be like, yeah, okay, pack your bags, you know?